Hello, dear friend. Sit down, get comfortable, maybe make yourself a cup of tea. This is a quiet moment just for you. There is no rush. There is no pressure. In this busy world, it is rare to find a moment to just stop and listen. So, thank you for being here. I want to tell you a story. It is a long story. It is a deep story, but it is told in very simple words. Simple words so that anyone can understand. A child of 10 years can follow along. An adult who feels the weight of the world on their shoulders can find a piece of themselves in it. This is a story about a man like many of us, a man who felt stuck, a man who felt small, a man who forgot how to dream. And this is a story about how he found his way again, one small step at a time. Let us begin. Chapter 1: The Man Who Forgot to Dream. There was a man named Leo. Leo lived in a big city. The city was always moving. Cars honked, people rushed, trains roared, lights flashed all night long. Leo lived in a small apartment on the 5th floor of a tall building. His apartment was quiet, too quiet, maybe. Every morning, Leo's alarm clock screamed at him. It screamed the same sound every day. Leo would open his eyes and look at the gray ceiling. He would take a deep breath. Then he would get up. His mornings were the same. Shower, quick breakfast, tie his shoes, walk to the train station, stand on the platform with many other people. No one smiled. Everyone looked at their phones. Leo looked at his shoes. His job was in a big office. He sat at a small desk in front of a computer. The computer screen was bright. He typed numbers all day. He answered emails that all sounded the same. Sometimes he would look out the window. He could see a small piece of the sky. It was usually gray. At the end of the day, he did the same things backwards. Train, walk, apartment, dinner, television, sleep. Leo was not sad. He was not angry. He was just tired. Deep down, in a place he did not visit often, he felt nothing. He felt empty. He felt like a machine that did the same thing every day. One evening, Leo was on the train going home. The train was crowded. He was standing, holding a metal pole. He looked at the faces around him. Everyone looked tired. Everyone looked like they were just waiting to get home, waiting for the weekend, waiting for a holiday, waiting for something. And then Leo looked at his own face reflected in the dark window of the train door. He saw a man he did not know. The man in the window had gray in his hair. The man in the window had lines on his face. The man in the window had eyes that looked old. Leo thought to himself, when did I become this person? When did I stop being the person I wanted to be? He tried to remember. When he was young, he had dreams. He wanted to be a painter. He loved to draw as a child. He would draw for hours. He drew trees and animals and faces. His mother kept his drawings on the refrigerator. But life happened. His father said, drawing is a hobby, not a job. His teachers said, focus on your studies. So Leo put down his pencils. He picked up books. He studied hard. He got a good job. He paid his bills. He did everything right. But doing everything right had made him feel so wrong. That night, Leo could not sleep. He lay in his bed, staring at the dark ceiling. A feeling was growing inside him. It was a small feeling, but it was strong. It was the feeling that he could not live another day like this. He could not do the same thing for another 10 years or 20 years. He needed something to change, but he did not know what. And he did not know how. He felt stuck, completely, totally stuck. Chapter 2: The Old Man on the Park Bench. The next day was Saturday. Leo did not have to go to work. He woke up late. The apartment was silent. He made some coffee and sat by his window. He watched the city below. People were walking, laughing, carrying shopping bags. They all seemed to have a purpose. Leo felt like he had no purpose. He decided to go for a walk. He needed fresh air. He walked through the busy streets, past the shops and the cafes until he reached a small park. It was a quiet place with tall trees and green grass. He found a bench and sat down. He watched some children playing. They were running and shouting. They were full of energy. They were not tired. They were not stuck. They were just playing. After a while, an old man sat down on the other end of the bench. The old man was maybe 70 or 80 years old. He had white hair and a kind, wrinkled face. He wore a simple brown coat. He did not say anything. He just sat and watched the children too, a small smile on his face. They sat in silence for a long time. It was a comfortable silence. Then, the old man turned to Leo. He spoke in a soft, gentle voice. His English was simple, but clear. "You look like you are carrying something heavy," the old man said. Leo was surprised. He did not know the man, but something in his voice made Leo want to answer honestly. "I don't know," Leo said. "I just feel tired. Tired all the time. I do the same thing every day. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I just feel nothing." The old man nodded slowly. He looked back at the children. "I know that feeling," the old man said. "I felt it too, for many years." Leo looked at him. "You did? What did you do?" The old man was quiet for a moment. He seemed to be thinking about a long time ago. "My name is Thomas," the old man said. "When I was your age, I was a very busy man. I had a big job. I wore a suit every day. I had a big car. I had a big house. Everyone thought I was successful. But inside, I felt like you, empty. I felt like a man running on a machine that never stopped." "What happened?" Leo asked. "One day, I fell," Thomas said. "I fell down the stairs in my big house. I broke my leg. I could not go to work for 3 months. I could not go anywhere. I had to just sit." He smiled at the memory. "For the first week, I was angry. I was bored. I thought my life was over. But then, something changed. Because I had to sit still, I started to notice things. I noticed the light coming through the window in the morning. I noticed the sound of rain. I noticed the small plant on my balcony. I started to look at the world again, like I did when I was a child." Thomas turned to Leo. His eyes were warm. "My fall was a gift. It forced me to stop. It forced me to ask myself a very important question." "What question?" Leo asked. Thomas looked at him directly. "If you keep doing what you are doing today, where will you be in 10 years? Will you be happier? Will you be free? Or will you just be 10 years older and more tired?" The question hit Leo hard. It sat in his chest like a stone. "I don't know the answer," Leo said quietly. "That is okay," Thomas said. "The first step is not knowing the answer. The first step is just asking the question." Most people never even ask. They sat together for a while longer. Then Thomas stood up slowly. "It was nice to talk to you," Thomas said. "Remember, you are not a machine. You are a person. And the person needs more than just work and sleep. A person needs to feel alive." Thomas walked away slowly down the path. Leo watched him go. He felt something he had not felt in a long time. He felt a small, tiny spark of hope. Chapter 3: The First Small Step. That night, Leo could not stop thinking about Thomas's question. "Where will I be in 10 years?" He got a piece of paper and a pen. He had not written anything by hand in a long time. He wrote at the top, "Where do I want to be in 10 years?" He stared at the paper. Nothing came. He did not know. He had stopped dreaming for so long he had forgotten how. So, he tried a smaller question. He wrote, "What is one small thing I can do tomorrow that is different?" That was easier. He thought for a moment. Then he wrote, "I will go to the park again. I will take my old pencils." Leo had a box in his closet. In the box were his old drawing pencils from when he was a child. They were old and forgotten. He found the box and opened it. The pencils were still there. They felt familiar in his hand. The next day, Sunday, he went to the park. He brought his pencils and a small notebook. He sat on the same bench. He felt a little silly. He was a grown man sitting with children's pencils. But he did it anyway. He looked around. He saw a big, old tree. He started to draw it. His first lines were shaky. His hand felt clumsy. It did not look good. It looked like a child's drawing. He almost stopped. He almost put the pencils away. But then he remembered Thomas's words. The first step is just asking the question. This was his first step. It did not have to be perfect. It just had to be a step. He kept drawing. He drew for 30 minutes. The drawing was not great, but something strange happened. While he was drawing, he did not think about work. He did not think about his tiredness. He did not think about the future or the past. He only thought about the tree and the pencil in his hand. For 30 minutes his mind was quiet. For 30 minutes he felt peaceful. When he finished, he looked at his drawing. It was not perfect, but it was his. He had made something. He had created something that was not there before. It was a small feeling, but it was a good feeling. He went home. That night he slept better than he had in months. The next morning, Monday, the alarm clock screamed again. But this time, Leo did not just get up. He lay in bed for 1 extra minute. He thought about the tree. He thought about the feeling of the pencil. He thought, tonight, after work, I will draw again. He had given himself a small promise, and keeping a small promise to yourself is a very powerful thing. Chapter 4: The Teacher Who Appears. Leo started a new routine. Every day he went to work. Every evening he came home and drew for a little while, sometimes for 10 minutes, sometimes for an hour. He drew things in his apartment. He drew the cup on his table. He drew the view from his window. He drew from memory. His drawings were still not perfect, but they were getting better. His hand was getting steadier. His eye was learning to see better. One Saturday he was at the park again, drawing a bird. He was so focused he did not notice someone standing behind him. "That is a nice bird," a voice said. Leo jumped a little. He turned around. It was a woman about his age. She had kind eyes and dark hair. She was holding a small sketchbook too. "Oh, thank you," Leo said, feeling a little shy. "It's not very good." "May I?" she asked, pointing to the bench next to him. "Yes, of course," Leo said. She sat down. Her name was Alina. She was also an artist, but not a professional. She worked in a library. Drawing was her hobby, her love. They started talking. They talked about drawing. They talked about the park. They talked about the light. It was easy to talk to her. She did not judge his drawings. She just seemed happy to share the moment. "It's funny," Alina said. "I used to be afraid to draw in public. I was afraid people would look and think my drawings were bad." "Me too," Leo said, surprised. "I still feel that way a little." "I learned something," Alina said. "Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to worry about you. And the people who do stop to look, they are usually friendly, like me." She smiled. Leo smiled back. It felt good to smile. They met at the park again the next Saturday, and the Saturday after that. They became drawing friends. They would sit together, draw in silence, and then show each other their work. They encouraged each other. They pointed out things they liked in each other's drawings. Through Alina, Leo learned something important. He learned that having a friend who shares your dream makes the path easier. You do not have to walk alone. One day, Alina said to him, "Leo, you have improved so much. Have you ever thought about taking a class? There is a small art school near the library. They have evening classes for adults." Leo's first thought was fear. "A class? Mine? I'm too old. I'm not good enough. Everyone there will be better than me." Alina just looked at him calmly. "Everyone starts somewhere, Leo. The people in that class are probably just like you. People who love to draw. People who want to learn. Fear is just a feeling. It is not a fact." Her words stayed with him. Fear is just a feeling. It is not a fact. Chapter 5: Facing the Fear. It took Leo 3 weeks to gather the courage, but finally he called the number. He signed up for the evening class. It started on a Tuesday. On that Tuesday he felt sick with nervousness. His hands were shaking. He almost turned back many times, but he kept walking. He remembered Thomas's words. The first step is just asking the question. This was his next step. He had to take it. He entered the classroom. It was a bright room with big windows. Easels were set up in a circle. There were about 10 other students. Some were young, some were old, some looked nervous like him, some looked more confident. The teacher was a woman named Grace. She had gray hair and bright, kind eyes. She welcomed everyone warmly. "This is a safe place," Grace said at the beginning of the class. "In this room, we do not compare, we do not judge, we only learn, we only try, we only grow. Making mistakes is not just okay here, it is how we learn." For the next 2 hours, Leo drew. He made many mistakes. His lines were wrong, his proportions were off. But Grace walked around the room. When she came to Leo, she did not point out his mistakes. She pointed out what was working. "I like the energy in this line," she said softly. "I like how you see the shadow here." She saw the good in his work. She helped him see it too. At the end of the class, Leo felt something amazing. He felt tired, but it was a good tired. It was the tiredness of using his brain and his heart. It was the tiredness of growing. On the way home, he thought about Grace's words. Making mistakes is how we learn. He had been so afraid of mistakes his whole life. At work, mistakes were bad. In school, mistakes meant lower grades. He had learned to hide his mistakes, to fear them. But here, in this class, mistakes were just part of the process. You try, you make a mistake, you learn. You try again. It was simple. It was natural. He realized that his fear of mistakes had been stopping him his whole life. It had stopped him from drawing. It had stopped him from trying new things. It had kept him small. That night, he made a decision. He would not be afraid of mistakes anymore. Not in drawing. Not in life. Chapter 6: The Discipline of Daily Life. The art class became the best part of Leo's week, but Leo soon learned a hard truth. Going to a class once a week was not enough to get better. He needed to practice every day. This was hard. Some days after a long day at work, he was so tired. He just wanted to sit on the sofa and watch television. His old habit was strong. It pulled at him. It whispered, "Rest now. You can draw tomorrow. You deserve a break." But Leo remembered something Thomas had said. A small step every day is better than a giant step once a month. So, Leo made a new rule for himself. A simple rule. He would draw for just 15 minutes every day. No excuses. Even if he was tired. Even if he did not feel like it. Just 15 minutes. Some days the 15 minutes were hard. His drawings were terrible. He felt like he was getting worse. But he kept the promise to himself. He did not stop. Other days the 15 minutes flew by. He would get lost in the drawing, and suddenly an hour had passed. Those were the good days. He learned that discipline is not about feeling motivated. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you do not. Discipline is what you do on the days you do not feel motivated. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your reality. You build that bridge one small, boring step at a time. He also started to think about his time differently. He used to waste so much time. He would watch television shows he did not even like. He would scroll on his phone for hours. He would complain about being busy. Now he started to see time as a gift. He had the same 24 hours as everyone else. How he used them was his choice. He started to say no to things that did not matter. He said no to extra television. He said no to mindless scrolling. He used that time to draw, to read about art, or just to sit and think. Managing his time was not about doing more. It was about doing what mattered. Chapter 7: Confidence Without Ego. Months passed. Leo kept going to his class. He kept drawing every day. His drawings got better. People in the class started to notice. Sometimes a new student would look at his drawing and say, "Wow, you are so good. I wish I could draw like you." The first few times this happened, Leo felt embarrassed. He would say, "Oh, no, it's not that good." I'm still learning. But one day, after class, Grace, the teacher, spoke to him. Leo, can I talk to you for a moment? She asked. Yes, of course, Leo said. I notice that when people compliment your work, you always push it away, Grace said gently. Why do you do that? Leo thought. I don't know. I guess I don't want to seem proud. I don't want to have a big ego. Grace smiled. There is a big difference between confidence and ego, Leo. Ego says, I'm better than you. Confidence says, I have worked hard and I am proud of my progress. When you push away a compliment, you are not being humble. You are rejecting the truth of your own hard work. And you are also rejecting the person who is trying to give you a gift. Leo was quiet. He had never thought of it that way. When someone says your drawing is good, Grace continued, you can simply say, thank you. I worked hard on it. That is not ego. That is honesty. It shows respect for your own effort. And it shows respect for the person who is trying to connect with you. That lesson stayed with Leo. He learned to accept compliments with a simple, warm thank you. He learned to be proud of his work without comparing himself to others. He learned that confidence is quiet. It is a calm belief in yourself. It does not need to shout. It does not need to put others down. Chapter 8, The Dark Valley. But life, as it always does, had a test waiting for Leo. One day at work, Leo's boss called him into his office. Leo, the boss said, the company is making some changes. We have to let some people go. I'm sorry, but your position is being eliminated. Leo lost his job. He walked out of the office in a daze. The world outside looked the same. People were walking, cars were moving. But for Leo, everything had stopped. For the first few days, he felt numb. He stayed in his apartment. He did not draw. He did not go to the park. He just sat. Fear came back stronger than before. It whispered new things. You are a failure. You lost your job. You are not good enough. Your dream of art was stupid. You should have just kept your head down and worked. Now look at you. You have nothing. The fear was loud. It was hard to fight. One afternoon, he was sitting in the dark, feeling lost. His phone rang. It was Elena. Leo, we missed you at the park on Saturday. Is everything okay? Leo's voice broke. I lost my job. Elena, I don't know what to do. Elena was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I'm coming over. She came to his apartment. She did not try to fix everything. She just sat with him. She listened. After a long silence, she said, Leo, remember when you first started drawing again? You were so scared. You thought you were not good enough. But you kept going. This is the same. This is just another beginning. But I have no money, Leo said. I have bills to pay. I can't just be an artist. That's not a real job. Maybe not, Elena said. But maybe this is a chance to think about what you really want. You don't have to have all the answers today. Just take the next small step. Her words were like a small light in the dark. After she left, Leo sat alone. He thought about Thomas. He thought about Grace. He thought about Elena. They had all helped him. They had all believed in him when he could not believe in himself. He realized something. He was not alone. And he had survived hard things before. He could survive this too. He got up. He walked to his table. He picked up his pencil. He started to draw. It was not a drawing of hope. It was a drawing of how he felt. Dark and messy. But he was drawing. He was moving. He was not giving up. Chapter 9, The Power of Honesty. The weeks that followed were hard. Leo looked for a new job. He sent out many applications. Most of the time, he heard nothing. Sometimes, he got a rejection email. Each rejection felt like a small punch. But he kept drawing. It was his anchor. One day, he had an idea. He decided to be honest. Completely honest. He was applying for a job at a small company. It was a normal office job. But in the cover letter, instead of just listing his skills, he wrote something different. He wrote, I have worked hard in offices for many years. I am good at my work. But I also want to be honest with you. Outside of work, I'm learning to be an artist. It is my passion. It makes me a better person. It teaches me patience, discipline, and how to see things clearly. I believe these qualities also make me a better employee. I am looking for a job that pays my bills, but also a place where I can be a whole person, not just a worker. He felt nervous sending it. It felt too personal, too honest. But a few days later he got a call. The owner of the company, a woman named Sarah, wanted to meet him. In the interview, Sarah was kind. She asked him about his art. She asked him why he loved it. They talked for an hour, not just about work, but about life. At the end, Sarah said, "Leo, I received many applications from people with your skills, but I only called you. Do you know why?" Leo shook his head. "Because you were honest," Sarah said. "You showed me you are a real person. You have passion. You have heart. I can teach skills. I cannot teach passion and honesty. I would be happy to have you on my team." Leo got the job. He learned a powerful lesson that day. Honesty is not a weakness. It is a strength. When you hide who you are, you make yourself small. When you are honest about your dreams, your struggles, and your passions, you give others permission to see you. And sometimes they will like what they see. Chapter 10. The seed grows. The new job was good. It was not perfect, but it was good. The work was interesting. Sarah was a good boss. Leo felt respected, and he kept his promise to himself. He kept drawing every day. 1 year passed, then 2 years. Leo's art improved so much. He started selling small drawings online. First, just a few, then more. People liked his style. He drew simple things, trees, cups, faces, city streets. He drew them with honesty and feeling. He did not quit his job. He did not become a famous artist. But that was not the point. The point was that he had changed. The man who used to feel empty and stuck was gone. In his place was a man who had purpose, a man who had discipline, a man who had friends, a man who knew himself. He still had hard days. Everyone does. But now, when hard days came, he knew what to do. He took a deep breath. He picked up his pencil. He took one small step. One day he was in the park. He was drawing a child playing with a ball. He heard footsteps on the path. He looked up. It was Thomas. The old man was older now. He walked slower, but his eyes were still kind. Thomas saw Leo and smiled. He sat down on the bench next to him. "I remember you," Thomas said. "You were the man who was carrying something heavy." Leo smiled. "Yes, that was me." "And now," Thomas asked, "do you still carry it?" Leo thought for a moment. "I still carry things, but they don't feel so heavy anymore. I learned how to put them down sometimes." Thomas nodded. He looked at Leo's drawing. "You draw now?" "Yes," Leo said. "You helped me start. That day, on this bench, you asked me a question. That question changed my life." Thomas looked at the children playing. "I did not change your life, my friend. I just asked a question. You are the one who did the work. You are the one who took the steps. The power was always inside you. You just forgot it was there." They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the world go by. Chapter 11. Lessons learned. Leo's journey did not end there. It never ends. Life is always moving. But Leo had learned how to move with it. He often thought about the lessons he had learned. They were simple, but they were everything. He learned that you cannot change your whole life in one day, but you can change one small thing, and then another, and then another. Small steps taken every day can take you to places you never imagined. He learned that discipline is more important than motivation. Motivation is a fire. It burns bright, but it can go out. Discipline is a slow, steady burn. It keeps you warm on the cold days. He learned that confidence is not about being better than others. It is about being proud of your own effort. It is about saying thank you when someone sees your hard work. He learned that mistakes are not failures. They are lessons. Every great artist, every great person has made thousands of mistakes. The only real failure is stopping. He learned that honesty connects people. When you are honest about who you are, you give others the courage to be honest too. He learned that time is your most precious thing. You cannot buy more of it, so you must use it for what matters. And he learned that you are never too old to start again. You are never too stuck to take a first step. The seed of a new life is always inside you. It just needs a little water, a little sun, and a little patience. Chapter 12. The story you are writing. And now, dear friend, we come to the end of this story. But really, it is not an end. It is just a pause. Leo is still living his life. He still goes to work. He still draws. He still has hard days and good days. He still feels fear sometimes, but he knows how to walk with it. This story is simple. It is a story about a man who felt stuck and found his way, one small step at a time. And here is the most important thing I want to tell you. This story is not just about Leo. It is about you. You are the main character of your own life. Right now, at this moment, you are writing your own story. You might feel stuck. You might feel tired. You might feel like you have forgotten how to dream. That is okay. It is okay to feel that way. Many of us do. But please remember this. The power to change your story is in your hands. It always has been. You do not need to change everything today. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to take one small step. Maybe your small step is different from Leo's. Maybe your small step is learning one new English word today. Maybe it is waking up 10 minutes earlier. Maybe it is going for a short walk. Maybe it is writing down one thing you are grateful for. Maybe it is just sitting quietly for 5 minutes and listening to your own heart. That small step is your pencil. It is your way of drawing the life you want. You will make mistakes. Everyone does. That is how you learn. You will have days when you want to give up. Everyone does. That is when discipline matters most. You will meet people who help you. Open your heart to them, and be the person who helps others too. Life is a long, slow journey. It is not a race. There is no finish line. The only thing that matters is that you keep moving. You keep growing. You keep trying to be a little better today than you were yesterday. You are capable of more than you know. You are stronger than you think. You have a light inside you. Sometimes it gets covered by dust and worry and fear, but it is still there. It is always there. Your job is just to let it shine, one small step at a time. So, my friend, as we finish talking today, I want to leave you with a few gentle requests. First, believe in yourself. Not in a loud, crazy way, just in a quiet, calm way. Believe that you can learn. Believe that you can grow. Believe that you are worthy of a good life. Second, if you are learning English, do not stop. Do not be afraid of mistakes. Every time you listen to a story like this, you are getting better. You are taking a small step. You are building your new life, one word at a time. You can do this. I believe in you. And third, if this story touched your heart in any way, if it made you feel a little less alone or a little more hopeful, please share it. Share it with a friend who might need to hear it. Share it with someone who feels stuck. A small story can be a big gift to someone. If you enjoyed listening, and if you would like to hear more stories like this, please like this video. It helps others find it too. And if you have not already, please subscribe to this channel. When you subscribe, you become part of this friendly community. You will get new stories that can help you learn, grow, and feel inspired. Thank you for giving me your time today. Thank you for listening with an open heart. Time is the most precious gift, and you shared some of yours with me. I am truly grateful. Now, go and take your next small step. The world is waiting for you. Take care of yourself, my friend. Be kind to yourself. And I will talk to you again soon.